may be just totally off my rocker, but I was just out walking my dog, and I came across some bones that looked to me to be human.
He had been dismembered.
Oh, my God.
Okay. And I like I said, there was apparent saw marks, okay?
What marks?
Saw marks.
Saw.
Your son did, it was obvious that there was foul play involved, okay?
Right.
There was some remains that we were not able to locate, okay? So it was also discovered that he had been dismembered.
Oh, my God.
Okay. And I like I said, I'm sorry to tell you that over the phone. We did not find portions of him being the lower portions of the legs, the lower portions of the arms, or the skull.
Oh, my gosh. So, okay.
There was apparent saw marks, okay?
What marks?
Saw marks.
Saw, right.
Yeah. When he was found, it was basically skeletal remains.
Man, what does it sound like? Gangland or some kind of sick trafficking or what the hell? I mean, who would do something like that?
Those are all questions that we are hoping to work to try to get some answers for Ryan and for your family, okay?
This analysis examines the police interrogation of Sarah Buzzard, a woman convicted of the aggravated murder and dismemberment of her roommate, Ryan Zimmerman, also known as Emma, in 2015. The case is a stark illustration of how obsessive jealousy and narcissistic injury can escalate into extreme, calculated violence. Zimmerman, a 21-year-old from Kentucky, had moved in with Sarah and her husband, Corey Buzzard, and subsequently began a relationship with Corey. When Corey ended the affair, the volatile domestic situation, already strained by the complexities of the love triangle, reached a breaking point, culminating in Zimmerman's murder and the subsequent gruesome dismemberment of the body. The interrogation footage captures the moment Sarah Buzzard is confronted with the reality of the crime, that Ryan Zimmerman is deceased and that the police have connected her to the murder. Her initial demeanor, characterized by a calm, almost detached composure, provides a critical window into the psychological mechanisms of denial and self-preservation employed by an offender facing the collapse of their reality. This analysis will focus on the psychological profile of Sarah Buzzard, the strategic deconstruction of her narrative during the interrogation, and the profound emotional detachment required to commit and conceal a crime of this nature. The goal is to dissect the psychological journey from initial denial to the eventual, chilling admission of guilt.
There's a detective, I believe, wants to come and speak to you. Okay. So just sit tight. You need anything? Water or anything like that? Let's see if I can get you a couple of water. Okay.
Hi, Sarah. Hello. I'm Megan Baker. I'm with the Sheriff's Office in Ohio.
I'm Rick Ward.
Hello.
Hello, Sarah.
Well, I'm assuming you have lots of questions.
Yes,
okay.
I do.
And we're going to take some time to sit down with you here and maybe we can get some answers for those questions for you, if that's okay?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me before we get started here?
No.
Okay. I would just like to have a conversation with you and we can kind of explain a few things and go from there, if that's okay. But since we're in here, I want to make sure you're protected and we're protected as well. Part of our protocol, we're going to cover the Miranda rights, okay? And then we can have a conversation and hopefully answer some of those questions for you.
Okay.
Okay? All right. So
25th.
All right. Read, write, and speak English?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's your highest level of education?
A bachelor's degree.
Okay.
College.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to read this to you, and if you have any questions, stop me at any time, okay? And I'm going to initial next to it. If you just acknowledge after I read each line that you understand what I'm saying, okay?
Okay.
Nod of the head yes or whatnot, okay? It says, before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about that?
I don't really understand how the process works per se.
So if there's any time that you aren't sure, of a question or something like that, you can say, hey, I don't understand the question. We can try to reword it. If there's any time that you don't want to answer that question, you don't even have to answer that question.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
goes along with the if you decide to answer questions now, without a lawyer present, you can, but you still have the right to stop at any time.
Okay.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're clear. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm just going to read the waiver portion here real quick. It says, I've read the statement of my rights shown above, and I understand what my rights are. I'm willing to make a statement and answer questions. I do not want a lawyer at this time. I understand and know what I'm doing. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure of any kind has been used against me. Does that sound accurate? I mean, we're not sitting here holding you down or anything like that, okay? Do you have any questions about that? I've read your rights to you. This is just acknowledging that we've read those to you. You understand them. If at any time you have any questions about those, feel free to ask.
Okay.
Okay? Mm-hmm. All right, just need your signature acknowledging that we read that. All right. And just real quick here, what's your primary address?
52.
Okay. And what's your
46952.
6952. And a good phone number for you.
747.
Okay. And a date of birth.
8/22/91.
Alrighty. So we're here looking into the matter, obviously, and I'm sure you have some questions, but kind of let us explain some things first, and then if you do have questions, we'll be open to hopefully answer some of those.
Okay.
Okay. We're looking into a situation back when you lived in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And about what time frame did you live in Columbus? Because did you?
I went for college,
okay.
So that would be 2010.
Okay.
And then I was there for a few years after I graduated. I want to say 2015, 2016, somewhere in that range.
Okay. And where did you live at when you were in Columbus?
I lived at a few different places.
Okay.
All of them were apartments.
Okay. And did you have a roommate?
My husband at the time.
Okay, and that would have been?
His name was Corey.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And when did you get married? You said husband at the time?
Mm-hmm. After graduating high school.
Okay.
And before starting college.
Okay. And he moved there for college as well? Or?
Yes.
Okay. And was there, you said in an apartment, I know sometimes going to college it can cause for some tough times with finances and things too. Did you ever bring any roommates in, anything like that?
At my very last apartment, we had I don't know if they were officially written on the lease, but they were a friend of Corey's.
Okay.
And they were there for a few months. I don't remember exactly how long. I didn't have much to do with them.
Okay. And who would the friend have been?
I don't remember what their real name was, but we referred to them as Emma.
Okay. Could it have been Ryan?
Possibly.
Okay. And that's a little bit about why we're here, is to talk about Emma, also known as Ryan Zimmerman. He went missing. Are you familiar with any of that?
No.
Okay. So I guess, tell me what you know about Ryan. Or Emma, if you know him as Emma.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a little bit of a touchy subject. My husband at the time had sexual interests. They had talked online extensively, and he had invited them to come stay with us, which I did not want to happen, but long story short, it did. So they drove under the agreement that they would pay part of the rent, and within, I think I gave them 3 months, that they would find a job and find their own place, which did not happen. So Corey ended up asking him to leave, which he did, because I guess he found a new boyfriend or something, and just up and left one day, and we didn't hear anything from them again.
And you say them. Was there somebody else with Emma?
No.
And by them, you just mean Emma?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know if it was plural, if there was more than...
Ryan wanted to start hormone therapy, but I was a little uncomfortable referring to them as she, so we just used the they, them pronouns.
Perfect. So you say that he was asked, or Emma was asked to leave. Who were you there for that conversation, or how did that go about?
I heard it secondhand. Corey had said that he was no longer comfortable having Ryan there, and they had also not made an effort to find a job like I had requested.
Okay.
I can't quite remember, but I know that they had a Corey and Ryan had a conversation, either while I wasn't there or while I was not present, and Corey relayed to me that by some date later in the week that he had to leave.
Okay, and you say later in the week. Do you recall around about when that was, that conversation? You said 3 months. You gave him kind of 3 months, and he hadn't looked for a job. Do you recall when he got there, when Emma got there?
I can't remember, no.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Do you recall how long she was there?
No, I'm
I'm
guessing it's in that 2
I'd rather you tell me you aren't sure and not make something up. Does that make sense? Okay. So you weren't there for the conversation of that, but were you there whenever Emma did leave?
Somewhat.
Okay, tell me more about that.
I know that they had tried to plead with me to give them another chance, but I said that I'd already given too many chances, and that it was Corey's call ultimately. And I remember them packing, and either I went to the store, I was in a different room, I don't remember,
Sarah Buzzard's criminal behavior is rooted in a profound sense of possessiveness and emotional entitlement within her marriage. The presence of Ryan Zimmerman, who became her husband's lover, represented an existential threat to her identity as Corey's wife and the stability of her domestic life. The motive for the murder is clearly driven by obsessive jealousy, a psychological state where an individual is consumed by the irrational belief that their partner is unfaithful. In this case, the belief was founded in reality, but the reaction was pathologically extreme. For Sarah, Ryan Zimmerman was not just a rival. Zimmerman was the physical embodiment of her failure to maintain control over her husband and her marriage. This obsession led to a desire for annihilation, the complete removal of the threat. The meticulous nature of the dismemberment, as revealed in the case details, suggests a final, symbolic act of control and erasure, an attempt to destroy every trace of the person who had violated her marital space. Sarah Buzzard's calm demeanor during the initial stages of the interrogation is a classic sign of emotional constriction or narcissistic defense. The murder was a response to a severe narcissistic injury, the wound inflicted when her husband chose another person over her. This injury, coupled with an inability to regulate intense negative emotions like rage and humiliation, led to a catastrophic failure of impulse control. Her psychological profile suggests a person who prioritizes the preservation of her self-image and her marital status above all else. The murder was an attempt to restore the perceived order of her life. The subsequent lies and the construction of a false narrative during the interrogation are not merely attempts to evade justice, they are attempts to maintain the illusion of a normal, innocent self, even in the face of overwhelming evidence. This profound disconnect between the horrific act and her composed presentation is a hallmark of a personality structure that is highly adept at compartmentalization.
I can't quite remember.
Who was all home at the time?
I was, Corey was not, and then my girlfriend was over, so we might have been in the living room. I honestly, I don't remember.
Okay.
I just know that one minute Emma was there, and then the next he had just left.
Okay. Did you see him leave, like pull away in a vehicle or something?
Somebody pulled up, and he got in the car and drove off. I thought that he might come back because he did leave his car, but he didn't come back, and then we didn't hear from him again.
Do you happen to know who it would have been? I mean, did he make contacts there? He
said that he did find somebody else. I didn't get in much details with him, but he said that he met someone and had mentioned that he might move in with them, or at least see how things went. That's as far as I know. Did he leave with you said he packed some things, did he leave with a bag? Yeah, it had the suitcase or duffel or whatever he came with. Okay, and then he left his car? Mm-hmm. Okay, what kind of car did he have, or what color, or anything like that, do you remember? I know it was an older car, maybe a dark red, like a maroon. Okay. That's all I can remember. Had you ever ridden in it? Yes. Okay. Had you ever driven it? Yes. Okay. To the store or something, or when did you drive it? To a gas station. And I couldn't get it to start again, so I had to call a tow company to bring it back. But I was embarrassed about it because I didn't really have permission to drive it. So did you drive it while he was still living there? No, this was after he'd left. After he'd left. Mm-hmm. Okay. And how did you get it started in the first place? If you want. It started fine. I noticed that it was low on gas, so I went to the gas station, filled it up, and then I couldn't get it to start again. Oh, okay. Were you by yourself during this? My girlfriend was with me. Okay. And then the wrecker came to get it? You said that you called a wrecker? I called a tow company. Okay. To bring the car back to the apartment. Okay. So did you see this tow company? Yes, I rode in the truck with them. Okay. And then you all brought it back to the apartment then, or? Okay. Parked it like normal? No. I parked it on the side. Because like I said, I was embarrassed that I took the car without permission. So I parked it over at the side of the complex. Was it within the complex, or was it like parked on the outside street? No, it was within the complex. Okay, so like your apartment on the like townhouses kind of like connected, like right? Okay, so you parked it close enough to your apartment that you could walk, or was it around the block? Like was it? No, it was close enough that we could walk. Okay, like a town block, or was it a half a mile away, or? No, it was. So the townhouses were in rows. Yes. And the whole complex was surrounded by like a street block. Yeah. So I parked it on the street block. That was still part of the complex, but further off to the side. Okay. But it was within the complex. Okay. So I guess when the tow truck or what have you dropped it there, took the keys in with you, anything like that? I'm assuming you had to have the keys. Yeah, I had the keys. I would assume I took them in with me. I don't actually remember though. Okay. Had plates and everything on it. I mean, obviously you probably wouldn't have drove it down the street if it didn't have the plates. Right. Okay. And so it was parked there. Had you driven it since then or after that? Mm-mm. Okay. Did he come back to get it? Mm-mm.
Okay, do you know anything that happened to it then?
I know that it disappeared. I don't know what happened to it though. I know I went out to check on it again, and I didn't see that it was there.
Okay.
So I don't know if he came back to get it, if it happened while I was gone. I'm not sure.
Okay. And when it was parked like in painted lines, like on a pavement?
On the side of the street.
Okay.
So partially in the street, partially in the grass.
Okay. And you said you filled it up with gas, all that sort of thing. Okay. And you said your girlfriend was who at the time?
Naira.
Naira. Okay. Is that who you're currently married to? Okay. Does she go by Naira?
She likes to go by Jennifer.
Jennifer. Okay. I just want to try to be as appropriate as I can be, so I apologize if I'm misspeak or something of that sort. So, was she with you at the gas station?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you both get in the wrecker then? Mm-hmm. Do you recall what kind of wrecker or who you called?
No,
or the color of the wrecker or anything like that?
White, maybe?
White, okay. Did you have to pay them, I'm assuming? Cash, credit card or something?
Credit card.
Okay. So then it gets dropped off. You go home then? Or, okay. Do you ever have any contact with Ryan after he left?
Not at all.
Okay, would you communicate with him even while he was staying there? Like through phone or anything like that?
Very rarely, no. I didn't have his number or email or anything like that.
Did he have a phone?
I believe so.
Did you see him using one?
Not that I can recall. The only thing I do remember was I think Corey let him borrow an old laptop.
Okay.
To communicate with his friends and family, I think.
Okay. Did he have a tablet or anything?
Not that I can recall.
Okay. Did you all kind of have your own computer, or did you?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Did you do a lot of work on a computer or like your phone or anything?
Probably on my laptop.
Okay. Who would all have access? I mean, I have my own personal Gmail and Facebook, things like that. Mm-hmm. Who would all have access, I guess, to like your Gmail?
It should just be me.
You? Okay. Would Jen or Corey or no? And Jennifer wouldn't have any access?
She shouldn't, no.
Okay. Okay. Does Jennifer have I guess her own accounts then that she accesses? Okay. And you said you didn't communicate with Ryan really. It was more Corey bringing Ryan into the picture. I guess how did that go whenever Ryan first got there? You said you weren't really on board for it.
Very awkward.
Okay, tell me more about awkward.
Well, I obviously didn't want him there in the first place, but Corey and I had argued about it extensively, so that's when I came up with the stipulation that Ryan could stay if he got a job.
Mm-hmm. But you said he didn't end up getting a job.
I don't know. No, he didn't. I know he tried to do some interviews, but I don't remember if he didn't get the jobs or if he just didn't go to the interviews. But I could see that he wasn't really making an effort.
Mm-hmm.
And he did pay his rent on time, but other than that, I tried to limit how much time I had with him.
Sure, okay. And you had made a comment earlier that it was discussed and Corey kind of delivered it to Ryan that he needed to go. Mm-hmm. But you mentioned that he was pleading with you to give him another chance or what have you. Tell me more about that, the pleading.
I know that he was crying, and a lot of what he said didn't really make sense.
Okay. Tell me more about what he was saying.
Something about his family not being good enough, and I tried to be sympathetic and said, well, from what Corey told me, you didn't get any jobs. This was the stipulation. And I know I said I was sorry, but that Corey ultimately makes the call, and if he says that you need to go, I have to agree. And then I asked him if he had anywhere else to go, which is when he mentioned that there was someone else that he had met and was getting close to. So I said that, that he could try to contact him or go back home or something, but that he would have to leave whenever Corey said.
Did that get a little heated? I mean, when he didn't want to leave, obviously.
Not heated. Like our initial conversation, I was calm, he was upset, but after that, I guess he was more resigned.
Kind of kept to himself, or?
There was no shouting or anything like that.
Didn't get physical?
No, not at all.
Okay, and was Jennifer around for that conversation?
No, she didn't want to have anything to do with him at all.
Okay, so she didn't step up and stand up with you on that at all?
We had a private conversation. Ryan specifically wanted to just talk to me. Okay.
Why do you think that is?
Probably because I'm the most level-headed out of everybody.
Sure.
And I was kind of the middle ground, I guess.
Kind of the mediator in the whole bunch. Okay. How did Ryan and Jennifer get along? How was that?
Jennifer did not like him, but also did not want to have anything to do with him.
Okay.
So I would say she went out of her way to not be around him as much as possible.
Okay. You mentioned that you had driven in Ryan's car before. Did you have your own vehicle? Okay, what kind of vehicle did you have?
Yeah, it was around the time I might have still had my Corolla at the time.
Okay. So I guess, is there a reason you wouldn't have driven your own vehicle?
No, there's no reason.
Okay.
I just thought it would be fun.
To try somebody else's vehicle? Okay. So that would have been parked at your apartment or what have you. Did Corey have his own vehicle too? And
he didn't have a vehicle.
He didn't have
his license.
Oh, okay. So how would he get around?
I would either drop him off or he would take the bus. The public bus.
Okay. Did he ever go meet up with other people to experiment as well, or to? Okay.
I didn't want to know about it, but I knew that there were local groups. He tried to get me involved once, and that was rather
too much for you, obviously.
It's not a lifestyle that I was comfortable with.
Sorry about that. So, was there a time that you did know that he was going to meet up, and you went along or drove him there or anything like that?
Once, I think.
Tell me what you recall about that.
He was meeting a woman either at a train station or a bus station. Because I remember picking her up and dropping both of them off at a hotel and then going home.
Okay. So you dropped both of them off then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you went home? Mm-hmm. Okay. Was it just you that dropped them off, or was anybody else with you?
Just me.
Okay. And they stayed there, without a vehicle then, or how did...
I would imagine so, unless...
Did you have to go back and pick them up or anything like that?
They figured out their own way afterwards.
Okay, so you didn't have to go back and pick up Corey or anything like that. He made his own way. Okay, so what did you do after you dropped him off?
I don't know. Watch TV, eat food, just the normal things.
Okay, and do you recall around that time frame who would have all been in the home yet?
at Jennifer would have been there. I don't remember if Ryan had left or not. It might have been after he left.
Okay. Okay. Do you converse with Corey still? I mean, no.
Not at all.
Okay. So obviously splitting, that was probably for the better on everybody's end.
After all of the relationship mishaps, it was mutual, us splitting.
Okay. So it was mutual, but was it pretty hasty towards the end? I mean, lots of arguments, things like that?
I don't know if I'd say hasty, but because it was kind of simmering under the surface for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ryan was just kind of the last straw for me.
Tell me more about that. Why was he the last straw?
That was probably one of the biggest arguments that we had. Was prior to Ryan coming. Corey had this ideology that a perfect relationship required 3 people. And the whole reason that he got in contact with Ryan was to make him that 3rd person. But I obviously didn't agree with that, and the entire time it made me feel like I wasn't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the arguments revolved around me telling him all of that, and he wouldn't listen, wouldn't agree, wouldn't take my points, so I ended up conceding and with the stipulation.
And finally, kind of pushing forward and following through with one of your stipulations that finally it needed to come to an end. Okay. So was there ever a time, I mean, you know, if you'd have those arguments and things, would you come home to visit and just to get away from each other? I mean, would you come back to Marion to visit with Mom or anything?
Not by myself, no. The only time we would ever come back to Indiana would be for holidays.
Okay. Okay. And would that be with you and Jennifer? Or?
No, it was just Corey.
Corey and you? Okay. How would you get back to Marion? I know there's so many different routes to take.
I guess whatever my GPS took. I didn't really pay attention to.
Okay, you just plug it in your phone, kind of thing.
Just go.
Okay.
The interrogation begins with the detective establishing the legal framework and the gravity of the situation. Sarah Buzzard is informed that Ryan Zimmerman is deceased and that the police have evidence of her involvement. Her response is one of controlled shock, quickly transitioning into a carefully constructed narrative of denial and minimization. In this phase, Sarah attempts to create a narrative that places her at a safe distance from the crime. She uses the correct pronouns for Ryan Zimmerman, they/them or Emma, demonstrating a level of cognitive awareness and control over her language, even while discussing a person she allegedly murdered. She minimizes her relationship with Zimmerman, claiming, "I didn't have much to do with them," and attempts to shift the focus onto her husband, Corey, and the volatile nature of his relationship with Zimmerman. The key element of her initial denial is the new boyfriend alibi. She claims Zimmerman left abruptly after finding a new boyfriend, suggesting a voluntary departure and a clean break from the Buzzard household. This narrative serves 2 purposes. It explains Zimmerman's disappearance and it absolves Sarah of any responsibility for the final, tense days leading up to the murder. Throughout this phase, the detective is observing subtle cues of deception. Sarah's narrative is often vague, particularly regarding timelines and specific details. When asked about the duration of Zimmerman's stay, she repeatedly uses phrases like "I can't remember" or "I don't remember exactly how long." While some memory lapse is normal, the consistent vagueness around key chronological markers is a common strategy of deceptive individuals who are attempting to avoid creating verifiable lies. The detective, in turn, employs the technique of behavioral analysis interview, allowing Sarah to speak freely, thereby committing her to a specific, albeit false, version of events that can later be challenged with forensic evidence.
Okay. So you're into art, correct? Was that one of your majors? Okay. And did you have your own studio, or would you go to work or anything, and it would just be Corey and Ryan, or Jen and Ryan, or anything like that?
At the time I think I was working at Barnes & Noble. If it was the last apartment, then it would be Barnes & Noble. So yes, there would be times when it would be either Corey and Ryan in the house, sometimes all three of them, sometimes just Jen and Ryan. I guess it was a mix.
Okay. And did you kind of have set hours for Barnes & Noble? I mean, did you work a pretty regular type shift?
Sort of. It would be one of two. I'd either do an opening shift and then come home in the mid to late afternoon, or I would do a closing shift and come home, I guess, around 8 or 9.
So if you'd come home from mid to late afternoon, around about what time would that have been?
2 to 3-ish.
Okay. And did that pretty regularly? Okay. Was there ever a time when you were at work that you get a call from Jen or Corey or anything saying, hey, we've got an issue at home, anything like that?
Nothing like that.
Nothing that you recall?
I don't think I ever had emergency calls like that, no.
Okay. Did you call off work a lot?
There were a couple of times when I did, when I just felt too emotionally drained, and I just needed a day to myself. I tried not to do that too often, because I know it puts pressure on my boss.
Sure.
But I can think of a couple of times when I woke up and just the gravity of the situation hit me, and I called in and said, I just can't do it today.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to when you said that Emma or Ryan was kind of pleading with you to give him one last chance, and you said Corey wasn't home at the time, but it was just you and Jen. How did that go after, I guess, Corey got back home?
I'm trying. If I remember correctly, I think Corey came back after Ryan had already left. I don't remember where he was, but I do remember that he came back, asked where Ryan was, and if he had left, and I said yes, and then that was the end of the conversation.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure Corey was gone during most of that.
Okay. I forget anything right now?
I'm Rick again. So when you said you had this conversation with Ryan about him leaving, and Corey was not present, you said it was a private conversation, right? How long, like, after that did he take off? Like, was it that evening?
Oh no, I think it was at least a day.
A day? Okay.
From what I remember, Corey, I guess, gave him the ultimatum, or the conversation that he had to leave, and then that happened at some point without me knowing, and then Corey left, And then I guess it was that either that same day or a couple days after was when I had that conversation with Brian.
So Corey had a conversation prior to your conversation
Yes.
with Ryan? Okay. So Ryan already knew it was kind of coming?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that was part of the pleading and the upset that he had.
Now, did you, in the process of this, of talking to Ryan and you saying him pleading, did you have communication with Corey saying, hey, this is what he's saying? Are we, so you didn't relay any of this to Corey?
I may have tried to text him, but I don't think I got a response back.
Okay. So tell me about the day, what you can recall about when Ryan left. You said that he met up with somebody. So try and go into a little bit more detail about that. Was it in the morning, afternoon, evening?
It was the late afternoon, early evening, because I remember Jen and I were in the kitchen having coffee or wine or something. We were sitting at the kitchen table, and Ryan came downstairs with his bag and sat at the table with us for a little bit. We didn't really talk. We kind of awkwardly had chit-chat. And then a car pulled up in front of the apartment. And then he said goodbye and left without any fuss. I don't know. I think it was a man driving the vehicle.
So you looked outside?
Yeah, to see what it was.
Tell me more about the car.
That's a part that I can't remember. I know it was might have been green, maybe. But like I said, I can't.
Sure.
I don't know what the make was.
Okay.
It was a 4-door green vehicle.
And when did you realize, how long after that did you realize that Ryan's car was still parked there?
I guess I didn't really think about it until the next day when it was still there.
Is that when you drove it?
Mm-hmm.
The next day?
Or the day after, something like that.
Okay. So you said to Megan here that Ryan never came back and got his car.
Right.
Okay. How do you know that?
I guess I mean, when the car disappeared, he might have come back to get it, but I never witnessed him come back to get the car.
I see. Okay. I'm going to go back a little bit, okay? So you move into this apartment in Columbus, the one we're talking about, where Ryan moved in. So when you moved in there, was it you, Corey, and Jennifer?
No, it was just Corey and I.
Okay. When does Jennifer come into the picture?
Shortly after, I guess I shouldn't say shortly, but sometime after Brian did. She was kind of my coping mechanism for the whole relationship fiasco.
Okay, so it's you and Corey. Ryan comes into the picture, and then Jennifer comes into the picture. So tell me about your relationship with Jennifer. How did it begin? Where did you meet her?
We actually met on Craigslist as just movie buddies.
Okay.
So it started out as just a friendship, and it stayed more as a friendship, but became more intimate. So she kind of became my support during that time.
When did it start to evolve into more of a intimate relationship?
Probably around the time that Corey started staying out more participating in his groups.
So, can you give any type of time frame? So let me, this may be easier for you. When did you move into that apartment in Columbus, though, the last one you were at, when Ryan lived with you?
I think it was somewhere between December to February of maybe 2014, 15.
So maybe December 14 to February.
I do remember that it was after Christmas, or
Okay.
it might have been after Christmas. It was cold.
Were you there over a year?
Yes.
Okay. And then do you remember at what time frame during this period that Ryan comes into the picture?
Maybe March or April. I know it was starting to turn into spring, so somewhere in that range.
Okay, and you said Jennifer. I'm going to refer to her as Jennifer. Was it something different at the time? She had you referred to her as some Naira or
Naira.
Naira. I'm sorry. So you said that she didn't want anything to do with Ryan and did not like him. So what conversations would you have with Jennifer about Ryan?
Well, I know that she did not like the circumstances with which he came to stay, and she didn't really like him as a person.
When you said she didn't like the circumstances when he came, but she came afterward.
I've told her about it, and she was there to witness the fallout of the whole reason that he came.
Tell me about the fallout.
I didn't really like being around Corey anymore. I kind of limited our conversations to, it's like, when do you need me to drop you off? What time should I pick you up? Just basic things like that, nothing personal. And I was very, very depressed and anxious because of it.
Okay. So the a day or two after Ryan leaves, you take his car, and you said you had no problem starting it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was it parked in the parking lot?
Mm-hmm.
And you said it had license plates on it, otherwise you wouldn't be driving it, right?
Right.
Okay. And you drove it to the gas station because it needed gas,
Mm-hmm.
and then you couldn't get it started.
Right.
Okay. So then you got a tow truck,
Mm-hmm.
and it dropped it off on the side street. Tell me a little bit about that. Why you had a car of your own,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you said that you thought it would be fun to drive somebody else's car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how long after that did you realize it was gone?
I think it took me a few days because I don't really look over
Mm-hmm.
at that area.
Did you? But you don't believe Ryan came back and got it, or you didn't know?
I honestly don't know.
Because you said earlier that you didn't believe. You said Ryan didn't come back to get his car.
I don't
Okay.
think the only way that he could have come back to get the car is if he did it when I was gone, and then Corey was there so he could get his keys.
Now, that's another question. To explain the key ring to me. So, you find it odd that Ryan now is leaving for good,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's leaving for good, and he would leave his car keys behind?
That's why I thought he was going to come back for the car, because I did think it was a little weird.
What'd Corey say about it?
I can't remember. Something to the effect of good riddance, I think.
So
Once Ryan left, he was kind of out of Corey's head, so we didn't really talk about it afterwards.
You mentioned if he came back, he would have had to come maybe when Corey was home or something to get the keys.
Or
So you brought the keys back in with you then after the tow truck parked it? Okay. Put them on like the kitchen counter or something?
Probably, or the...
I didn't know if you had a certain spot that you always kept. I know I always
usually just put them on the table.
Okay. And Corey didn't question anything after he got home and Ryan was gone. I mean, he, like you said, kind of just cleared him from his mind and moved on.
I mean, he may have had questions, but he wouldn't really talk to them or talk to me about them anymore. And like I said, at that point, it was more of a business relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever talk to Corey about, hey, he left his car here and I have the car keys? That never came up?
You drove Ryan's car. Had he ever driven your car or ridden in your car or anything like that?
He had ridden in the car to go to like the grocery or something.
Okay. Like front seat, back seat, something like that?
Back seat, probably.
Okay.
Who would do the grocery shopping?
Typically me.
Would everybody pack up in the car and go, or would it just be you alone, or you and Jennifer, or?
A bit of both. If everybody needed something, everybody would go. If we just needed a few things, I would write them down and go myself.
Would Ryan ever chip in?
I remember he was responsible for paying for his own food. So if he needed food, it would be one of the days when everybody would go.
I see. Would he regularly buy food?
Yeah, I guess semi-regularly, maybe.
Like what would he?
Once a week.
What would he buy?
Crackers, ramen.
Would he cook a lot?
No, he never cooked.
Never cooked?
I know that Corey would sometimes make communal meals for everybody.
I get
it. If Ryan did any cooking, it was usually just for himself. He never did anything for everyone.
I see. So would he go to the store by himself, or would you go with him, or would him and Corey go, or?
Possibly. I mean, he had his car, so he would leave on his own sometimes.
But for the most part, what would you say? He goes and gets his own stuff? For the most part?
That was part of the agreement that, I mean, it wasn't a charity. He would need to take care of himself.
Right.
And
you said the stipulation was that he can come live here, but he has, within 3 months, he has to find a place of his own, right? Mm-hmm. Was he chipping in on rent?
Yes.
Okay. Was Jennifer chipping in on rent?
Yes.
Did she work?
No.
Okay. She just had money?
Yeah, she had savings and...
I see.
She wasn't technically living at the residence because she did have her own. She stayed with her sister and some friends, but she liked staying with me because it was a little quieter.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you ever meet Jennifer's family? Mm-mm. No. Is she from?
I've met her mother and sister.
Where are they from?
Massachusetts.
Okay. Okay.
But I never met.
Did your mom ever come visit the apartment?
At least once, I think, for Thanksgiving.
How many times would you say you'd go visit your mom while you lived in that apartment?
Probably at least twice, usually once during the summer and then for Christmas.
Okay. Nothing in between?
Not usually, no.
Okay. Do you ever remember Ryan getting hurt somehow, like in the kitchen or something, where he cut himself, or or anything like that that
Not
would
that
have
I can
in the
recall.
apartment?
No.
How about you or Corey or Jen? I mean, was there ever any type of accident?
There's never any kind of violence, no.
Not violence. I'm talking accidents. Like,
Um,
do you ever remember an incident where somebody may have cut themselves and had to wrap it up and?
Not that I can recall. The only kinds of accidents I can think of was, I know one time he accidentally shut the fridge door on the, we had iced tea, and shut the door on the nozzle so that the whole thing came out. But nothing that I can recall that would leave any kind of physical mark.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Would he, Ryan, would he ever give you his debit card and say, pick me up something?
No.
Never?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So you never used his debit card?
Mm-mm.
Would he ever give it to Corey or Jen or anything if he didn't want to run out?
Not that I
Nothing
know.
like that.
Yeah, not that I can recall.
Okay.
Would he ever ask to use like your phone or anything?
Not my phone, no.
Okay, but you mentioned Corey maybe gave him a laptop to borrow
We
or
had
something.
an old laptop that I think that was his primary form of communication.
Okay.
With his friends
Mhm.
and family.
So, I guess going along with that, you had your own devices. Corey had his. Did Jen bring along her own type of devices? Her phone, computer, that kind of stuff.
She had a phone and a computer.
Okay, and she had her own accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Would Corey have access to any of your accounts? Your Google, your Facebook,
We had a shared bank account, but I had that changed.
Okay.
Other than that, we had our own separate accounts for things.
Okay, like email, that kind of stuff.
Separate.
Okay. And they wouldn't access it or anything like that? Okay. Okay.
You want to go out for a sec?
Yeah.
You give us a minute.
Do you have plenty of water? Do you need a refill?
Yeah.
If I could get a refill.
I sure will. I can do that. Be right back with it, okay?
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Hey, there's some more water. Sarah, I don't know if you know this or not, probably not, but you're talking to Jennifer right now, talking to your mom, and also talking to Corey in Columbus.
No, he was
Okay.
here.
He's not here, he's in Columbus.
Oh, okay.
So, and there's major inconsistencies about this with your involvement with Ryan, and you know Ryan is now deceased.
He is?
He's been murdered, and so we have Corey is talking to the Columbus police detectives right now. We just get off the phone with them, so we need to know. I need to know, like, really what happened here. I mean, this is a bad situation. We really need to know what happened. With the car, we have DNA evidence. We're able to track down your car, the one that you used to own, the time of this incident. We were able to track down the current owner, and we're able to examine it. So we have something happened in that apartment over this weekend that we're talking about, which is the weekend that you recall, the weekend that you dropped Corey off with that girl in Columbus. Do you remember that?
I remember it was a weekend.
Yeah, it was a weekend. And so we have major problem here, okay? And something terrible happened, and we just need to know how it happened. It's not necessarily, it could have been something that just happened, but there's only a few people who know the truth. Corey's talking and gave us a bunch of details. It's not fair to me to go into those details with you, what he's telling me, because it's only fair that I hear from you, okay? So you're gonna have to tell me your version of this, and to see if it matches up with the evidence we have, because something is terribly wrong here. So please, just all I do is ask you is please just tell me the truth. What terribly wrong?
I mean,
Sarah, what went wrong? Something went wrong. What happened?
As the interrogation crosses the halfway mark, the detective begins to introduce facts that directly contradict Sarah's carefully constructed narrative, leading to a period of narrative instability. This is the phase where the psychological pressure intensifies, forcing the suspect to either admit the lie or create increasingly elaborate and less plausible explanations. The detective focuses on the details of Zimmerman's departure, specifically the car. Sarah's story about the car, that Zimmerman left it behind and she later drove it to a gas station, where it broke down, forcing her to call a tow truck, is highly suspicious. This story is a desperate attempt to explain her physical proximity to Zimmerman's property after his disappearance. The details she provides, the girlfriend being with her, the embarrassment of driving the car without permission, and parking it over at the side of the complex, are all attempts to normalize an abnormal situation. The psychological function of this elaborate lie is to account for her handling of the car, which the police likely already knew was connected to the crime scene or the disposal of the body. The inclusion of the girlfriend serves as a false alibi, an attempt to introduce a corroborating witness into her fabricated timeline. The detective's persistent questioning on minute details of the car's location and the tow truck service is a deliberate strategy to expose the fragility of this manufactured alibi. The turning point in this phase, though not explicitly detailed in the provided transcript excerpt, is the introduction of the evidence linkage. In cases of dismemberment, the police often have forensic evidence related to the tools used, the location of the remains, or the disposal process. The research confirms that Zimmerman's remains were found 4 years after the murder, with apparent saw marks on the bones. The detective's shift in questioning from the car to the inconsistencies about her involvement suggests that the police have forensic evidence that places Sarah at the scene of the crime or the dismemberment. The psychological impact of this evidence is profound. For a high-control offender like Sarah, the realization that her meticulous efforts to conceal the crime have failed is devastating. The calm composure she maintained in Phase 1 begins to crack, replaced by defensiveness and confusion, as she realizes her carefully constructed reality is collapsing.
Did he try to hurt himself? Tell me what happened. Something happened and somebody panicked. So please just tell me the truth, what happened. Corey's given a whole nother version of what you just said. Please tell me the truth.
I'm not comfortable talking about this.
We have a young...
Was it an accident?
Yeah.
I don't know what was an accident.
With Ryan.
I didn't even know that he was dead.
Sarah, come on. Sarah, please.
That I can talk to?
Well, you can talk to us. I just want the truth. I don't think that's...
We don't think this was a planned thing. Okay, we just think something just went terribly wrong. Okay, maybe got a little out of hand. And it happened. Okay?
I mean, Sarah, you have been arrested for a reason.
I thought I was arrested for theft.
No, that's not true. I don't know who said that, but that's not true.
That's what the policeman said.
Yeah, well, they're from another state. They're helping us because you folks live here now. We're obviously from Ohio. I'm with the state police, basically. And all I'm asking of you, and you seem like you're a very intelligent person, I just want the truth, though. And these things are not adding up. And I don't want to see you like everybody pointing at you. Not everybody, but a particular person is pointing at you, basically not wanting anything to do with it, saying it was somebody else. And again, I'm not really, it would be not ethical of me to tell you what Corey's saying, but I need to know what happened that over that weekend with him.
We always know there's two sides to every story.
Always.
So this is your opportunity to give your side, okay? Now's your chance to
just the truth.
Start from the beginning.
I don't want to say anything.
Why wouldn't you want to tell us the truth?
Was this all you?
I've said what I know.
But Sarah, that's not all you know. And we know that now. That's what we were out there doing. We planned this so that we could talk to everybody at the same time.
We even have some people in North Carolina right now talking to the young lady that Corey met. Okay, we have a lot of information.
Is Sarah Lloyd I can talk to? That was my rights, right?
Well, that's your decision. We don't advise on that. But all we're asking is for the truth.
I don't know what to say.
The truth, maybe?
I've said what I remember.
And you're telling me that's the truth.
That's what I remember.
This is going to be your only time to talk to me and Megan. After this, we're not allowed to help. So.
What happens to me after this?
You're going to be booked in the local county jail here. I mean, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't have physical evidence. That's why I was giving you an opportunity.
Am I able to hear what all of my options are?
What do you mean by that?
I just don't. I don't know what to. I don't know what's going to happen to me with all of this.
Well, No. Okay. All right, Sarah. Thank you. Hey, Sarah. I think I owe you this. Where are the photographs? There's your, look familiar?
What's in that car?
Just trying to get an explanation. But anyways,
So
Megan here has
I
something she
just
wants to
have
show
something I
you.
want you to take a look at, okay? And read over, and we'll get your thoughts on that. This is from your Google account. Okay, these are your searches on your Google account that you said you only had access to. So flip through these pages.
Yeah, look through them for
and
us.
take a gander at that. So we know there's two sides to every story. Right? I mean, do you believe that also? Yeah. Okay. So do you want us to only have the other few sides, or do you want to tell us your side? Okay. Sarah, look at me. I think you want to tell us the truth. Look at me. You're the type of person I think that you are an honest person. Are you not?
I try to be.
Okay. We're just asking for the truth. And if was this something that was planned? That happened? Or was this just, oh my gosh, holy cow, this happened and now this is where we're at? Is this, you didn't plan this. Look at me, is that correct? Okay. So just tell me what happened. I just want to hear it from you. I don't want to just have everything from everybody else.
What's gonna happen to my family?
Well, we'll talk to your family, okay? And you'll get to talk to your family, okay? We can work through this. One thing at a time. This is the first step. Okay, look at me.
I'm scared.
Okay, I understand you're scared. Okay?
All I've ever gotten was a speeding ticket.
You're an honest person, okay? I don't think you're a bad person at all.
Sarah, let us help you. Just tell us.
I don't want to go to jail.
Okay,
Or
well,
anything.
okay, and I'm just being honest here. That's just a step in the process. That doesn't mean you're gonna stay there. Okay, you're gonna have a court date, that kind of stuff, okay? We just need to hear it from you. And we can pass along. We can't make any promises, just like we read earlier. We can't make any promises, nothing like that. But we can pass your cooperation along. Okay? Look at me. Go ahead and start from the beginning, okay?
It was an accident.
Okay. It was an accident. Accidents happen every day. So what happened? And I'm a little hard of hearing, so I'm sorry.
I was angry.
Okay, I get angry too.
And I knocked him down when he came out of the bathroom. And I choked him. And then I didn't know what to do. I've never done anything like that. And I got scared. I didn't know what to do.
You were scared.
I realized I ruined my life.
So I guess, tell me more about you knocked him down.
He was coming out of the bathroom and I came up behind him. And I put him in a chokehold and knocked him down.
Did he pass out? Were there words exchanged?
He passed out.
Okay. So,
And I didn't let go.
mm-hmm.
And then it was too late.
Tell me more about too late.
He stopped moving.
Could you tell if he stopped breathing?
He started turning white. And I couldn't go near him.
Because you were scared. Who was all home at the time?
Just Jen.
Jen and you and Ryan? Okay, where was Jen at the time?
She was downstairs.
No, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
She was downstairs.
She was downstairs. Okay. What was she doing, or did she hear the
She
scuffle?
heard a commotion.
Okay.
Came up. And she helped calm me down. And then we had to figure out what to do.
And you just spoke about that, or I guess what was decided? Obviously, we know what happened, okay? You're not telling us something we don't know. And I get it's probably hard to talk about. Okay, but these are the details that we need to hear from you. That way, it's not from somebody else.
I had to figure out how to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm. So what happened?
And we cut it up.
We being you and Jen? Was this when Corey was away at the hotel? Okay. So where did you cut him up at? Bathtub? What did you use?
Some kind of salt.
Where did that come from?
I found it in the shed.
So you each have your own shed there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who did the cutting?
Mostly me.
Okay. And what was Jen doing?
Taking care of other stuff like clothes.
Ryan's belongings? Okay. What was she doing with his clothes?
In bags.
Okay. And placing them somewhere, or?
Just for us to get rid of later.
Okay. So you were cutting him up. This probably made things obviously uncomfortable, but when you were cutting him up, where did you put like the limbs and things?
Bags.
Kind of like the ones we showed you? The blue tape. Did you see that blue tape? Would that have been your tape at home, or did you guys go buy that?
I actually don't recognize the tape.
You don't recognize the tape? Okay. What color bags, I guess, did you put him in? Did he fit in a couple bags, or have to do?
I know there were a lot of bags.
Okay. And where did you cut him at? And again, this is all stuff I already know. Okay, I just need to hear it straight from you.
The joints.
The joints? Can you point to the, I guess what you mean by joints?
The elbows.
The elbows.
The wrists, ankles,
Mm-hmm.
knees.
And then up here?
Mm-hmm.
And the neck. Okay. So, you get him all cut up. Does Jen help cut him up?
Not really. She wasn't feeling well. She got kind of sick.
Okay.
So I took over most of it.
But did she help a little bit at the beginning? Okay.
We were both really scared.
Sure. So, you got him cut up, then what happens?
We have to figure out where to put everything.
So where did you say you put his belongings? Where did those go? Like his clothes and his...
Just in one of the bags.
Okay, and where did those...
We put those in a bin.
Like a dumpster?
No, like a Tupperware bin.
Oh, okay. And where did that go?
In the back of his car.
Okay.
We were going to drive the car somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And leave it. But the car wouldn't start.
Is that why we're searching? Trying to figure it out, right? And then how did we get it to move?
We had to take the car back with the tow truck.
So you called a tow truck? Okay. To come to your apartment?
No, to come to the gas station.
To come to the gas station.
And took the car back, left it on the side, and then we moved the bin to my car.
The bin of his items or of him?
Everything.
Okay.
And we started driving and trying to get rid of little things at a time.
Along the road, or is there special spots?
In public dumpsters.
So did you dispose of like his limbs in different spots? Okay. Do you know where those spots are?
We just stopped wherever something looked okay.
Or it seemed like secluded or something like that?
Couple gas stations. Mostly just public dumpsters. I really don't know.
Do you recall stopping along okay, so you're driving. Do you drive to a final destination at some point? Where is that at?
It wasn't planned. I kept falling asleep.
Sure. So where do you drive to?
Selena.
Salina, Ohio? Okay. And that's in Mercer County? Do you know that?
I don't know what the county is.
Are you familiar with Salina? Would you travel through that way? Did you recognize it before traveling? Okay. So you get to Salina, and then what happens?
We dumped everything. We dumped the main body.
Okay.
Because I was so tired.
And you dumped it where?
Some woods.
Some woods. Okay. Had you already dumped some of the rest of the body?
That was all we had left.
Okay.
Just the main body.
Okay. Do you recall where you dumped the other parts of the body? Possibly in dumpsters at gas stations? Did you stop at any other woods or creeks or anything? Okay. Did you plug this in your phone? Like a GPS type thing?
I just
started driving?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I just know that we started driving.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we wanted to maybe end up in Illinois.
Just like, do you mind?
Yeah.
If I can. Sorry, I'm so hard of hearing and I don't want to be rude and keep telling you to speak louder, so. Oh, give him this right here. So you were driving. Okay. And got to Salina. And I missed that last part. I'm sorry. You said you were driving in.
We wanted to get to Illinois.
You wanted to get to Illinois.
But I couldn't make it that far.
Because you were tired? Okay. Why did you want to get to Illinois?
It's far away.
Okay. You just wanted to be away from everything. Okay. Did you, when you got to Salina and dumped was that everything that you had that was left? Otherwise you had stopped at dumpsters on the way there?
Just whatever was on the route.
Okay. Where did you go instead of going to Illinois? You said you couldn't make it that far.
We stopped in Salina.
Did you stay somewhere?
Just turned around and started driving back.
Okay, so you returned back to Columbus then? Or did you go to Mom's or anything like that? No. Okay.
We didn't make it that far.
You were exhausted? Yeah. Okay.
The transition from denial to admission in this phase is often marked by a psychological shift known as minimization of culpability. The suspect, realizing the game is over, attempts to confess to the act while simultaneously minimizing the intent or the brutality. When Sarah finally admits to the crime, the motive is confirmed to be the profound rejection she felt when her husband chose Zimmerman. The murder was an act of passion, fueled by rage and humiliation, but the subsequent dismemberment was a cold, calculated act of post-offense behavior. The most chilling aspect of this phase is Sarah's emotional detachment when discussing the gruesome details of the dismemberment. The research indicates that Sarah Buzzard confessed to dismembering the body, with some reports suggesting she used a saw and even placed parts of the body in a soup pot. The ability to perform such a horrific, methodical act, and then discuss it with a degree of emotional flatness, points to a severe psychological defense mechanism. This detachment is not necessarily a sign of psychopathy, but rather a profound form of dissociation from the reality of the act, allowing her to view the victim's body as an object to be disposed of rather than a human being she had murdered. The detective's role in this phase is to secure the details of the crime, moving from the why to the how. By allowing Sarah to articulate the details, the detective secures a confession that is rich in factual information, making it virtually unassailable in court.
Sarah, I don't know if you know this or not, probably not, but you're talking to Jennifer right now, talking to your mom, and also talking to Corey in Columbus.
I didn't know he he was
Okay.
here.
He's not here. He's in Columbus.
Oh, okay.
So, and there's major inconsistencies about this with your involvement with Ryan, and you know Ryan is now deceased.
He is?
He's been murdered, and so we have Corey is talking to the Columbus police detectives right now. We just get off the phone with them, so we need to know. I need to know, like, really what happened here. I mean, this is a bad situation. We really need to know what happened.
Hello, all you couch detectives out there. My name is Lee. Thank you for being here. Here we rely heavily on our viewers to continue bringing you true crime content, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you want to see more. It really does help. Okay, enough rambling. Let's get into it. On January 3rd, 2016, about 100 miles north of Columbus, Ohio, a woman walking her dog in a scenic park stumbled upon something strange, what appeared to be the skeletal remains of a human body. While not 100% certain what she had discovered, she erred on the side of caution and she dialed 911.
Mercer County Sheriff's Office.
Yes, I may be just totally off my rocker, but I was just out walking my dog, and I came across some bones that look to me to be human. Maybe they're not, but I was wondering if I could send those pictures to you or email them to you.
Okay, where did you find this at, ma'am?
Right on Coldwater Creek. I was over walking my dog, right where they're doing the construction, right there.
Okay, I don't know where that is, ma'am. Where exactly at?
Right on 127.
Okay, what is your name?
I live right next door.
Okay, can you hold for just a moment?
Sure.
Thank you.
Deputy Cross, can I help you?
Yes, this is. And I was just telling your secretary that I was out walking my dog and I came across some suspicious-looking bones, and I'm probably just being paranoid. But I wondered if I could send the pictures to you and see what you thought. I took pictures with my phone.
Okay.
It's right along Coldwater Creek here on 127.
You're not. Are you still there, or?
No, but I can walk over there. I live right next door.
Okay. We'll probably just send somebody out there to take a look.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll probably.
And it's on the east side where they're doing that construction.
Okay.
On 127. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll walk back over there then and wait for him and show him what I saw also.
Okay.
Like I said, maybe it's just a big old goose hunt chase, but just in case.
All righty.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That caller was right. It was indeed the remains of a human. And after local and state police searched the site for clues, they came up with the majority of a torso that was believed to belong to a man between 20 and 35 years old. The challenge now was to figure out who the hell it was. They did not have the remains from the knees or the elbows down, and they did not have the head. There were apparent saw marks on the bones. This clearly was foul play. After sending samples to the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation for DNA testing, they were unable to find any matches in the system. They were unable to give the victim a name. 4 long years would go by, and this case would grow colder and colder, until criminal intelligence analyst Jennifer Lester was combing through Ohio missing persons cases. She came across a man that was missing since 2015 whose family's DNA had never been collected. And in June of 2020, the John Doe torso was positively identified as 21-year-old Ryan Zimmerman, but many questions remained, and detectives knew that whoever was responsible for this crime was still walking the streets somewhere. Of course, detectives want to talk to the people that he lived with. There are quite a few interviews in this case and lots of extras, so make sure you check out our Patreon linked below. Lots of that stuff will be there. This is the first interrogation of Sarah Buzzard, one of the suspects in this case. But first, let us have a moment of silence for the victim in this case.
There's a detective, I believe, wants to come and speak to you. Okay. So just sit tight. You need anything? Water or anything like that? Let's see if I can get you a couple of water. Okay.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
I'm Megan Baker. I'm with the Sheriff's Office in Ohio.
I'm Rick Ward.
Hello.
Hello, Sarah.
Well, I'm assuming you have lots of questions.
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
And we're going to take some time to sit down with you here, and maybe we can get some answers for those questions for you, if that's okay?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me before we get started here?
No.
Okay. I would just like to have a conversation with you, and we can kind of explain a few things and go from there, if that's okay. But since we're in here, I want to make sure you're protected and we're protected as well. Part of our protocol, we're going to cover the Miranda rights, okay? And then we can have a conversation and hopefully answer some of those questions for you.
Okay.
Okay? All right. So
25th.
All right. Read, write, and speak English?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's your highest level of education?
A bachelor's degree.
Okay.
College.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to read this to you, and if you have any questions, stop me at any time, okay? And I'm going to initial next to it. If you just acknowledge after I read each line that you understand what I'm saying, okay?
Okay.
Nod of the head yes or whatnot, okay? It says, before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about that?
I don't really understand how the process works per se.
So if there's any time that you aren't sure, of a question or something like that, you can say, hey, I don't understand the question. We can try to reword it. If there's any time that you don't want to answer that question, you don't even have to answer that question.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
That goes along with the if you decide to answer questions now, without a lawyer present, you can, but you still have the right to stop at any time.
Okay.
Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure we're clear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just going to read the waiver portion here real quick. It says, I've read the statement of my rights shown above, and I understand what my rights are. I am willing to make a statement and answer questions. I do not want a lawyer at this time. I understand and know what I'm doing. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure of any kind has been used against me. Does that sound accurate? I mean, we're not sitting here holding you down or anything like that, okay? Do you have any questions about that? I've read your rights to you. This is just acknowledging that we've read those to you. You understand them. If at any time you have any questions about those, feel free to ask.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, just need your signature acknowledging that we read that. All right. And just real quick here, what's your primary address?
5-2.
Okay. And what's your
46952.
6952. And a good phone number for you.
747.
Okay. And a date of birth.
8/22/91.
Alrighty. So we're here looking into the matter, obviously, and I'm sure you have some questions, but kind of let us explain some things first, and then if you do have questions, we'll be open to hopefully answer some of those.
Okay.
Okay. We're looking into a situation back when you lived in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And about what time frame did you live in Columbus? Because did you?
I went for college,
Okay.
so that would be 2010.
Okay.
And then I was
The case of Sarah Buzzard is a tragic study in the destructive power of obsessive jealousy and the failure of emotional regulation. Her psychological profile reveals a person who, when faced with a threat to her core identity, her marriage, resorted to the ultimate act of annihilation. The murder of Ryan Zimmerman was an attempt to erase the evidence of her husband's infidelity and restore her perceived control. The interrogation serves as a powerful forensic document demonstrating the strategic deconstruction of a deceptive narrative. The detective's patience, coupled with the irrefutable forensic evidence, forced Sarah to abandon her lies and confront the reality of her actions. The legal proceedings confirmed the severity of the crime and the calculated nature of the post-offense conduct. Sarah Buzzard was initially charged with multiple counts, including aggravated murder. In December 2021, Sarah Buzzard pleaded guilty to aggravated murder. In January 2022, Sarah Buzzard was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison. The case highlights the legal system's response to crimes driven by pathological jealousy and extreme violence. While the murder may have been an act of passion, the subsequent dismemberment demonstrated a cold, methodical intent to conceal the crime, which significantly contributed to the severity of the sentence. Sarah Buzzard's case remains a cautionary tale about the dark side of domestic conflict and the psychological capacity for extreme violence when an individual's sense of self is fundamentally threatened.